everyone, I'm Claire and this is my vlog, Loves Red Sews. Welcome if you are new and welcome back if you are an existing subscriber. So today this is my weekly Sunday sews catch up and I have a few bits and pieces to share with you today. Some things that I've been making and also some up and coming plans and some things that I've kind of got cut out. So I've got a few things to share with you today, so I hope you enjoy today's vlog. So first of all, I will share what I am wearing. So today is Saturday, it's slightly chilly, so I've got a jumper on today and I'll just step back and show you. So this is a Tilly and the Buttons Nora, and it's has a kind of a split at the side and it's slightly longer at the back, and I've made this in this kind of fleece backed sort of jersey, which I got from a D-stash. I think this was from Adele actually, so for Serenity, and I'm just wearing it with, I've just got a black t-shirt underneath and then some leggings for comfort, so that is what I'm wearing today. So I think the last time I shared some plans with you was probably a few weeks ago, because I've had quite a busy month in October with various events and things, and not last week but the week before I went to the Sewing for Pleasure show at the NEC in Birmingham. So I kind of shared all my purchases and things and what I got up to there, and then last week I shared on my vlog some details about my sort of favourite outerwear patterns. So I haven't actually shared that many sort of recent sewing things with you, I guess, or things that I've been making, and sort of, so probably in the last couple of weeks I've made a few bits and pieces which I've kind of got behind me here, and I was going to share those with you today. So one of the first things I sewed up was this cardigan here, and this is the, I don't think I've shared this on any of my vlogs, but apologies if I have already shared it. I did look back just to double check and I don't think I have, but if you have seen this already then I apologise. But this is the Tilly and the Buttons Bertha cardigan, and I'll just open the sleeve out. So it's slightly batwing in shape, and to be honest, it's a really easy pattern. This was my first time making this, so I made it in this, it's quite a thick fleecy sort of sweatshirting, and if you can see inside it's, yeah, it's really warm and snuggly, so I kind of made that up. To be honest, it was probably just on the thick side for this cardigan. It just about got through my sewing machine and overlocker. I didn't break a needle thankfully, but it was a little bit hit and miss in a couple of places, and I did think, is it gonna actually go through the machine? Thankfully it did. So when I make this again I'll probably use a slightly lighter weight fabric. This obviously did work and did come together, and I'll just show you the back as well. So it's got quite a nice kind of style lines here. It's really super simple to put together, so I definitely recommend this pattern. And then underneath it is, I'll just take the cardigan off to show you. So this is a an LB pullover by Paper Theory. What I will do is pop in a couple of pictures of me wearing these garments as well, so that you can see, if you're not on Instagram or you haven't seen me share these over on Instagram, then I'll just pop a couple of pictures in so that you can see what they look like on. But yeah, I made this LB pullover, and I'll just bring that a little bit closer. So it's kind of like this sweater knit. I bought this recently when I went to Sew Brum, and this was actually from Guthrie Ghani. I didn't bother changing my thread, so I've got red overlocker thread inside and a little kind of cozy jumper label inside. But yeah, I think this will be quite a good, again, this is a really simple make. I think this will be really nice to sort of wear for work and stuff, and it's super cozy and super soft. So that is the first two things that I wanted to share with you. And then off the back of that LB pullover, I also made another one in this fabric. So this one is obviously a lot brighter. It's a fairly lightweight kind of jacquard jersey, And then I'll just show you kind of the underside of the fabric, so you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see that. So the pattern is only on the outside, but I just love these colours together. The red and the pink just go really nicely together. Now this one I actually added an extra band on the bottom, so when I made it, for some reason it felt quite short on me, and I would typically wear something like this with jeans, and I don't really like to I like to cover my belly basically, and it was kind of just sitting on or just slightly above it. So I just pulled out a hemband from the Nora Sweater, and then I just double checked the length of it against the pattern piece for this, and then cut an extra little band out and added that on. I didn't bother pattern matching, but actually I don't think I did too bad a job on the pattern matching, to be honest, considering I wasn't really planning on pattern matching. But yeah, that's just a nice simple little LB pullover top, and this one has a little heart label in it, which I picked up at the Sewing for Pleasure show from Becky's sewing studio. So there's 3 kind of cozy makes in the last couple of weeks, and then the other thing I worked on is another pair of Thea trousers. So I had this, actually this goes really well with this jumper, doesn't it? So I had this fabric in my stash, which I think I bought this at the Stitch Festival earlier in the year, in March, and this is a really nice quality denim. I think it has a very slight amount of stretch, not huge amounts, but it was a denim that I bought from Higgs and Higgs, and I basically wanted to revisit the Thea trousers because my previous make, although I do wear them, I had to do quite a lot of adjustments to them because the original size that I'd cut out was way too big on me. So for this pair I did actually size down. Now what I did is I cut a size 6 at the waist, because that is pretty much where I carry most of my weight, but I have got quite narrow hips, so from just under, probably from about here, I then graded down to a size 4, so it's a 6 waist, and then grading down to a size 4 at the hip and all the way down. So I have made these kind of full length, and the waistband I drafted myself. So I realised that sort of curved waistbands don't really suit my figure. I think because I've got kind of most of my weight is around my middle and I've got narrow hips, the curved waistbands just don't seem to sit very well on my waist. And I think curved waistbands, from what I've read, are more suited to sort of hourglass shapes, where you've got a smaller waist and then your hips kind of go out. But for my sort of body, where I suppose my middle is bigger and then my hips are smaller, a straight waistband is much better. So I basically just cut my own pattern piece for this, and what I did is I used the pattern piece from the so I used the waistband pattern piece from the pattern itself just to get the right depth, and then I just measured my waist, and then I added a little bit of seam allowance on, additional seam allowance on, and then I added just a little bit more. So I think I might have cut a piece that was probably about 38 inches long, and the pattern piece was just basically one long pattern piece. So in the pattern for the Theas you get I think 3 separate waistband pieces that you kind of all join together, but I just did this as one whole piece, and 38 inches is much bigger than my waist allows, but I just kind of thought, well, I'll just add a little bit of extra on just in case, and also you know, for the overlap and stuff. And then when you actually attach it, you kind of sew it right sides together, and you kind of sew along in line with the rest of the trousers. So it just means, and I'll just show you the inside bit as well. So it just means that you get it completely sort of lined up. So, and that worked out really, really well. I'll just show you the inside. So everything is overlocked. I've obviously done the front fly. I didn't top stitch all of the seams. I just ended up top stitching around the fly, and then I've top stitched the waistband just because I think it looks a little bit nicer. I have some, I don't know how well you can see it, I might be able to pull the pockets out, but I just used a scrap of kind of cotton that I've got in my, that I had in my stash, like cotton lawn, and it's got sort of various different sort of ladies on it. Yeah, it's probably a little bit difficult to see, and then inside it's kind of inside out anyway, so you can't quite see the full effect. I added a little button from my stash, which I just found. It was a random button, but I thought it went quite well. My machine did a perfect buttonhole, so that was quite nice. And then I also did welt pockets on the back. Now I know a lot of people kind of avoid doing them on these trousers and just put the patch pockets, but I actually really quite like the way they look with the welt pockets. So I just took my time and added those on, and I think they came out sort of pretty good, really. They're probably my neatest welt pockets yet, so so I'll pop a couple of pictures in of me wearing these, but they're a really good fit, so I'm really pleased with how they came out, and I'll probably be making some more of these. I've got quite a lot of various kind of trouser weight or denims in my stash, so I wouldn't mind having a go at another pair, maybe in a different colour or even in an actual denim, because I haven't actually made a denim pair yet. So yeah, I might well do that. But yeah, those are so four makes probably in the last couple of weeks. I don't think that's too bad, really. So what else have I been up to? So this week, or I've kind of been preparing some patterns, really. So I purchased the new Drew pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. If you haven't seen it, I'll pop a picture of it in here. It seems to be a really popular pattern, and with our winter coming up in the UK, I'd really like to get some more kind of jumpers and stuff into my wardrobe. And I really like the fact that you can kind of colour block that. So I printed out the pattern and got it all stuck together, and I always do my patterns like print at home and then stick them together. I know a lot of people avoid that, but I actually find it really quite therapeutic, putting patterns together, and I don't find it that difficult. I kind of use a Pritt stick to glue the pages together, and I kind of do them in rows. So I will do sort of a row of pages at a time, and then I'll stick all of those rows together, and I just find that a much quicker way of doing it. So it doesn't actually take that long to do once you're sort of into the swing of it. So I got that prepared this week, and then this morning when I got up, I actually cut 2 Drew sweaters out. So what I have, the ones that I have decided to do, I'm just going to show you. I've got some fabric left over, so I've decided to do one in this colourway. So I was originally looking at this fabric. These are all fabrics from my stash, and then I was kind of looking to see if I had any other fabrics that went with it, and I found this in my stash, and I thought they went pretty well, because I think this this kind of neon salmon colour, I think, picks out some of these bits in here. So I thought they went quite well, and I also have matching ribbon for this as well. So this came from Guthrie Ghani originally, which it was originally on a pre-order, and it's a really thick kind of snuggly fleece back sweatshirting. And then the speckly one, this came from Sarah at Simple Life Fabrics, and this is also a fleece back. It's a little bit thinner than the other one. I think this is more of a maybe a French terry, but a fleece back French terry. So that is a Poppy Fabrics. But yeah, let me know what you think below. So what I've done is I've cut the main body out in this, and then actually I think I printed out these, so on Tilla's website she has these these sort of like pages that you can print out, and you can then play around with the colour blocking. So I'll just fold that in half so that I can bring it a little bit closer to show you. So for the main body of the fabric here, I have cut out this particular fabric, and then I've also used it on this band here, and then for the neon sort of coral, I've then used it on this piece here and the top of the sleeves, and then obviously the ribbon is all in the neon coral as well. I've actually, as you can see, I've actually got plenty of both of these fabrics left over, so if the if it works out well, basically, I don't want to cut it all out, just in case I didn't like how it sort of came out. So I've just cut one out initially, but what I may do is possibly reverse it and do the opposite way round, or I may even do a plain one. I haven't quite decided yet, but I wanted to see how one came out first. I have gone for the longer length version. I really love the cropped version, and it looks really nice on a lot of people, but because I've got a little bit of a tummy, I don't often like things that kind of sit above my tummy or sort of very slightly across it, because I think it just highlights it a little bit more. So I've gone for the slightly longer length version, and I've actually cut a size 4, and I'm hoping that is gonna be good. It's gonna be like the right size, basically, because I have heard it comes out quite big. I think it's designed to be quite roomy, so I didn't want to, I think I'm around a size 5 for Tilly patterns, but I decided to cut the 4, so I'm hoping that one works out okay. And then the other one that I've cut out is in this fabric, which I picked up from First for Fabrics, so it's a nice multicolour animal print, and again I have done the basically on this one I've decided to do the main body and the top of the sleeves and the bottom of the sleeves in that animal print, and then this band here I'm just going to do it in a plain black sort of sweatshirting, just to sort of break up the pattern a little bit. And then I've then got this kind of purple ribbon, which I think goes quite well. So if you can kind of imagine the main body and the sleeves sort of here and at the shoulder are going to be in this main fabric, the cuffing will be in the purple, and then there'll just be like this little band here will be in the black to pick out the black part of the animal print. So I'm hoping that will look okay. It's hard, isn't it, when you're sort of trying to work out sort of colours, and I really like the colour blocked versions that I've seen. Now, I have bought a couple of fabrics this week which have already arrived, and they're actually in the wash, so I don't have them here to show you, and I mean they're quite boring in colour in a way, but they are to kind of use for other versions of the sweater. I don't know why I keep holding this up, because I think the light is kind of almost whiting it out. I have to bring it really close, but I basically bought a plain black sort of quite a thick fleece backed sweatshirt and then the same in a really lovely kind of cream colour, and I think they will be really good for sort of colour blocking using on this sweater. So I just bought a metre of each. I quite fancy doing one that is kind of plain sort of red, black and the cream together. I do have a red sweatshirt in my stash, which is actually I've kind of set aside for a kind of like a hoodie dress version, or sort of, you know, comes down to my knees, because I thought that something like that would be quite cozy in the winter when I'm working from home. So it all depends if I've got enough of that. Otherwise I may possibly pick up a piece of red sweatshirt in. I don't think I'd need more than a metre A lot of these kind of sweatshirting materials are quite wide, and because of the colour blocked version of this sweater, it doesn't actually use up that much fabric. So like when I cut out the bits this morning, I've still got quite a bit of fabric left over. So yeah, there's definitely options. I mean, with this kind of neon pink or sort of neon coral colour, I've definitely got enough here to make a whole sweater still, I think. So I may even make just a completely plain one with that possibly. But yeah, we'll see. That was originally bought in mind to make a sweater with, so with the matching ribbon, I think just would be a really nice plain kind of sweater, so I may well do that. So that's kind of like my plans really this weekend and this week. Apologies, I think it's getting a little bit dark. I don't know what's the time here. It's nearly 3 o'clock here, and I've got no lights on, but I'm just going to put a couple of these lamps on and see if that makes a little bit of a difference, or does that just shine on my face? Yeah, I don't know. I think it whites out my face a little bit, but it does. I think you can see. Maybe see the fabrics a little bit better. It's really hard, isn't it, this time of year? It's just so dull, and we've hardly had any like sun in the UK for the last couple of weeks. It's just been like grey clouds and really dull, so it is quite hard to kind of record these things in this kind of light. So I'm just going to turn this one off and see if that might be a little bit better. So yeah, so I've cut out 2 of those sweaters this morning, so I'm going to get sewing those up this afternoon, and I have heard that the Drew sweater comes together quite quickly, so I'm hoping that I will get a couple of those made up this weekend, and then I'll have a little think about some others that I want to make. So they are 2 things that I've cut out, and then one of my other plans, which I'm actually going to do a separate vlog on, is I'm working on a project for the Sew to Celebrate 2 challenge that is being run by Yvette at Stash Hub. So my vlog for that comes out on Monday, so you'll have a double kind of whammy of vlogs from me this week. So I won't go into too much detail about what I'm planning for that, because that will be in my other vlog. But the idea of that challenge is that you sew something with 2 meters of cotton, ideally from your stash. So I do have a plan, and I do have 2 meters of cotton that I'm going to use. So if you're interested in hearing what my plans are for that, then pop over to that vlog which comes out on Monday, and then you'll be able to hear my plans for that. So the other things that I want to sew sort of fairly soon are a couple of things kind of for Christmas really. Now I never really participate in the gift to November, because I mean we don't tend to sort of buy or give a lot of Christmas gifts. We've sort of decided quite a few years ago within our families that we don't really sort of buy for each other anymore. So the only people that we buy presents for really are the kids. So I've got 5 nieces and nephews, so we tend to just buy for them, and then me and my husband tend to buy for each other, and that's sort of pretty much it. We don't really buy for our sort of families or parents and stuff, because it just kind of gets a bit out of hand. So yeah, it's quite stress-free for us really. We don't really have a lot of sort of presents and stuff to buy for, so I don't tend to kind of make anything either for Christmas for people. But this year I have actually decided to make a couple of things. Now one of the things I want to make is it's not really a gift, but I bought a little kit recently from First for Fabrics, which is an advent calendar, and I basically saw this on their website and they were selling it as a complete kit. So I've kind of got it here in front of me, and you pretty much get everything in the kit. I don't think you get the thread, but you get the wadding, you get a little bit of ribbon, you get some fabric for the backing, and then this is the panel that I picked up. They had a couple of different options, and this is the one that I got. So it's called, I think this is called Man's Best Friend Advent Calendar. And it's just got lots of little doggies all over it, and I thought it was really, really sweet actually, and really cute. So it actually has instructions on the panel itself on how to put it together. And then on the other side of the panel, you then have all the pieces. Basically what you do is you just cut around these, and then I think you turn the hems under. So this is your kind of like seam allowance running around it. So you turn that under, and then you then basically stitch them onto the corresponding sort of panels this side. So you just sew around 3 of the edges, so it leaves a little pocket in the top. So it's quite a simple little design. I'm hoping that it won't take too long to put together, because we're already in the middle of November and I haven't even started it yet. So I'm really hoping that I can get that sewn up. So I kind of bought it with Ralph in mind, really. But I guess it could suit any of us. I've got a couple of advent calendars, like sewn related. I've got one sewn related one, and then I've just bought a tea, like one with tea bags on it for myself. So I kind of thought this could be for Ralph. Ralph actually suffers with pancreatitis, so he is very limited in what treats and stuff he can have. So a lot of the doggy advent calendars that you can buy that are already done are not really suitable for him, because a lot of the treats are very high in fat, and he can't really have any sort of treats that have got very much fat in them. They have to be like really, really low fat. So I thought something like this would be really good, because then we can kind of put our own little treats in it. But I may well sort of do a combination of sort of treats for him and maybe for my husband. So one day will be for Ralph, one day will be for my husband, or something like that. But I'd really like to get that kind of started and try and get that sewn up for the 1st of December. So I don't know why I'm holding that up, that's just the wadding inside. But yeah, that was a really nice little kit, and I don't know if they've actually got any more still in stock. If they have still got stock, I will link it below. Sorry for the rustling. But it was really reasonable. I think it was like £9.95 for the whole kit, which I thought was really good. So yeah, I'd really like to get that made up. And then Ralph, being a whippet, he feels the cold quite a lot, and he's got a few sort of jumpers and stuff, but to buy jumpers for him is actually really expensive. Now we do have a few, but on average they're about £40 or £50 each. And now that I'm quite an established sewer, I've been sewing for a long time, I thought it's probably about time I made some jumpers for him, rather than buy them. You know, at that price, I know how much fabric costs, and you know, for a standard kind of fleece fabric, I know pound fabrics have you know, a standard kind of fleece fabric, which I think is only about £5.95 a metre. So I know you have to factor in all the labour and everything, but because I can sew myself, I kind of thought that I should probably make an effort and actually sew a couple of jumpers for Ralph. So he has got a couple of jumpers that we sort of are always in regular rotation this time of year and all through the winter. But being a boy, he often pees on them when he's cocking his leg, so they're regularly in the wash. So we could do with a couple more, to be honest. And I found a really good pattern on Etsy, which I'll pop a picture of in here, and it has an option for a kind of like, I suppose with the LB pullover with the kind of roll neck. Most of his jumpers that we've got already have that, so it kind of keeps his neck warm. And I think they've also got the option, you can have it without the roll neck or with the roll neck. So there's a good, I can, you know, in the summer I can make maybe lighter weight ones. And then it also has an option for sort of front legs as well. So it keeps his sort of front legs a little bit warmer out on walks as well. So I've not really made him any jumpers before, so I'm really excited to give that a go. And I thought with, you know, with some of these like offcuts of sweatshirting and stuff I've got, I'll probably have some fabrics left over from things I've made. Okay, maybe not the maybe not the pink colour and stuff. Some of these are obviously a little bit girly. I mean, this one possibly, but slightly questionable on a boy dog. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, if it keeps him warm, you know, it keeps him warm. So I'm kind of thinking that, you know, I can kind of, it's almost like a double whammy. I can use some of my leftovers from my stash that maybe are not enough to make something else for me, but there'll be plenty enough to make something for Ralph. So yeah, so I'm hoping to kind of get a couple of those started, because I want to make kind of want to make them really for him for Christmas. So we always kind of wrap a couple of things up for Ralph, so on Christmas Day he's also got something to open, and he gets really excited by opening presents. So I'm hoping that I can get a couple of jumpers made up for him as well. So yeah, might end up being a little bit matchy with me as well at some point, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. So yeah, that's the sort of things that are kind of in my plans really to sort of get making. So I think that's pretty much it from me today, so I will leave it there. I hope you have enjoyed hearing about what I've been up to and what my up and coming plans are. Hopefully it's not been too dark for you, this video. It's really getting quite dark and dull outside now. But yeah, hopefully it's the light has been okay for this. But yeah, I think I'll leave that there, and I shall catch up with you again next week. So have a good week, and I hope you get some good sewing in, and I shall speak to you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.